I've been held there as well. Kasangati, spent some days there as well. And several others. In a police cell, people that have been held there for weeks, for months. This is not right. It's not acceptable. Carry out investigations and then execute an arrest. And when you arrest, take people to court. Not holding them in detention, some non-detention facilities, safe houses. And even when you eventually take them to court, our plea to the courts of law, can we dispense justice? If the state is saying they are still gathering evidence, 3 to 4 years down the road, you're still gathering evidence. It does not exist. So we are calling on the judiciary. You're meant to dispense justice. Do not be accomplices of injustice. Give people bail. As the state continues to gather evidence, if it does exist. Even better, drop the charges. Dismiss the charges, because 3 to 4 years down the road, sure. And like I'm saying, this can happen to anybody. I've also heard there's been a lot of talk that for certain offenses, bail should be scrapped. It's a cardinal principle of our Constitution, Article 28(3)(a). Any suspect is innocent until proved guilty or until they have considered that guilt. So how do you say that for particular offenses, this one, no, don't grant them bail because it's a serious offense? Because then you are adjudging them guilty before the courts of law do that. So again, we call on our colleagues in the NRM. This is not just for us in the opposition. Of course, they're going to target us. They will trap up all manner of charges, terrorism, treachery, and all of these different things, so that they can hold us forever without bail. But even you in the NRM, you will fall out with the regime tomorrow, and it will happen to you. So let's be sober. Let's use our heads. Now, on that course, it's been a practice that has gained the normative status that we convene as the opposition to point the country to the priorities that we shall pursue. I appreciate my predecessors for setting a good pace. We commit that during our tenure, we shall continue using this platform to churn out our policy priorities and an alternative budget. In that vein, this year's theme will be building resilient communities, a human rights approach to resource allocation. It's important that we think about the people of Uganda as we allocate resources. That's important. And their rights. In a few weeks ahead, we shall unveil this, our alternative budget, and show Ugandans how our country's resources ought to be allocated from our perspective. And so this process has kicked off. Today we are pointing the country to areas that we want to lay emphasis on. And like I've said, 3 cardinal ones, among several others. We want to push back against corruption, expose it to the core, show Ugandans how much of their money is being stolen, from where, and by who. We want to push back against poor service delivery. Ugandans pay taxes. They deserve services. And we'll push back against disregard for the rule of law and disrespect for human rights. Yes, we will. And like we're saying, we want to rally Ugandans to join this fight. Let's not think that this is a fight for just members of parliament. It's a fight for all of us. And as members of parliament, we commit to do our job. We commit to push back. We commit to raise our voices regarding these issues. But we are calling on religious leaders. We are calling on civil society organizations, cultural leaders, opinion leaders, all of us as the people of Uganda. Parliament alone is not going to change our country. It will not. We all saw what happened with Ojibwa in the previous parliament. Our MPs put up an incredible fight. They did all they could. But the state still had its way. Where were the rest of us Ugandans? So we want to encourage Ugandans, please don't just, cheer us on. Because we are few in number, we shall do everything we have got to do, and that's a pledge and to make on behalf of my colleagues. But we'll do everything we can. But again, we are asking Ugandans out there, please join this fight. Parliament alone will not do it. It's a very structured place. Too structured. You've got 2-3 minutes to speak. How much do you say in those 2-3 minutes? Because we are too many. And again, to say what you are going to say, you've got to cut the hand of the speaker. How many are we for that to happen? So it's a very controlled formal place. And we'll do what we are going to do, the formalities therein. But we are asking Ugandans for this country to change, for the true change we are pursuing to happen. All of us must collectively join this fight. The purpose of this two-day meeting is to share views, peer review, and constructively contribute to the overall priorities and the alternative budget. We are privileged to have in our midst the distinguished former leaders of the opposition and practitioners in this area from civil society, ready to share their views and experiences on the exercise we are to embark on, and to appreciate the Honorable Matthias Mpuga, former leader of the opposition, now commissioner, the Honorable Winnie Giza, who will be joining us shortly. Mr. Julius Mukunda, EDCS Park, has joined us. Thank you for honoring our invitation and for creating time to join us for this engagement. Can I request for that microphone, please? On its hearing, we have detailed the opposition priority areas, issues that we want to focus on, issues that we want to make a big deal about, and no one will silence us. Like I've said, there's 3 cardinal issues: corruption, poor service delivery, issues that for the rule of law and human rights violations. But there are several others that we have listed therein that we shall be focusing on. Ladies and gentlemen, I now take the honor to launch the opposition priority areas 2024-2026, aimed at ensuring effective checks and balances, fostering accountability, and championing the diverse voices of our fellow citizens. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate you for committing time to this exercise for God and my country. Thank you.
I know Ugandans are being conservative, but I think you can clap better than that. I think the leader of opposition has clearly highlighted several areas. He has taken us through the elements of the constitution, corruption, social services in Uganda, human rights, the rule of law, so many areas. And I trust that you shall follow through with the little book that everybody should have. If you haven't picked your little book, you can please find it at the registration desk. We thank you very much once again, leader of the opposition. Now, distinguished guests, when you look at your program, you will notice that we have 1 or 2 more presentations ahead. But when you look at the time, we are struggling. So let's make this suggestion. You have been seated for way too long. So